Thanks for joining us on this edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani. Coming up, government's pilot program for climate resilience has been officially launched. The Laplaine Police Station to be complete at the end of October 2014, and Dominica's 2014-2015 cruise ship season promises to surpass last season's successes. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories after this.
A lot of bathtubs are blamed for bruises. Some staircases are accused of being responsible for broken bones. Doors are occasionally viewed suspiciously as causing lesions. A high percentage of tables are accused of producing bleeding or trauma. Violence against women is a crime, and it's everyone's responsibility. It's inexcusable. If you're a victim or witness of physical or psychological violence or abuse, seek help and denounce the perpetrator.
Thanks for staying with us. 10 months ago, government announced that it had received funding from the World Bank's Climate Investment Fund to pilot its strategic program for climate resilience. When the announcement was made last December, $5 million was immediately made available to set up a project management unit to run the affairs. On Monday, the pilot program and disaster vulnerability reduction project was officially launched. A delegation from the World Bank, the Honorable Environment and Physical Planning Minister Dr. Kenneth Daru, and the Honorable Acting Prime Minister Ambrose George addressed that ceremony. Honorable George, who declared the official launch of the project, felt that such an initiative places Dominica ahead of several equally vulnerable small islands.
Only a people proud of their country's performance, feeling for the well-being of their fellow citizens, can keep up the high personal and public standards needed for building and achieving that climate-resilient development pathway that we aspire.
The World Bank, which aims to support poverty reduction and shared prosperity, is the executing agency of the $39.5 million project. Anna Wellenstein is the practice manager for social, urban, and rural resilience for Latin America and the Caribbean. She described 3 of the 4 components of the pilot program for climate resilience.
The project includes 4 components. The first is designed to reduce physical vulnerability of infrastructure. This includes water storage and distribution, slope stabilization, road rehabilitation, and improvements in drainage. The second component is designed to support the creation of relevant climate and hazard data, as well as analytical tools to help inform decision-making so better decisions can be made. It includes things like high-resolution topographical models, survey maps, and expansion of the National Hydromet Framework. The third component is a mechanism to implement a rapid response to natural disaster events by allocating funds for emergency recovery and subprojects and to purchase critical goods.
The fourth component is building capacity for monitoring and evaluation of the project. The Honorable Environment and Planning Minister, Dr. Kenneth Daru, is certain that for Dominica, this project is one of the most effective responses to climate change impacts.
This program will contribute to vulnerability and risk reduction within Dominica through a combination of civil works, capacity building, and institutional development activities at the national and local levels. These activities are designed to improve national resilience to natural hazards and longer-term impacts resulting from climate change, and are fully in line with the goal of the country's development goals and aspirations.
About $47 million in projects will be executed as a means of merging climate change minimizing measures with planning. The criteria for the A-Level Island Scholar Award is on the agenda for reformation. Currently, the award is limited to a comparatively small number of students, an arrangement which the DSC proposed for change. The nation's Honorable Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Peter Saint-Jean, was prepared to respond to that proposal. He first described the current criteria for the Island Scholar Award based on the University of Cambridge Order of Merit ranking list.
In order to rank the students, the criteria as legislated by the Commonwealth of Dominica must be met. The rules are simple and as follows: that all private and school candidates are included. Candidates must be over the age of 16 and under the age of 20 on the last day of the month in which the examination for the award of the scholarship is held. It is open to male and female candidates, although we see this afternoon we have only females represented here. And candidates must take the general paper, which is the GIS level exams or subjects, to which a weighting of 1 is applied, and candidates must take 3 GCE A-level subjects, to which a weighting of 2 is applied.
The minister, however, added that his ministry will work to change the arrangements to allow for more students to vie for the award.
Over the years, the associate degree program offered by the Dominica State College has reached a point where none can deny that it is recognized by most, if not all, regional and international institutions. That in that regard, and as alluded to both by Mr. Volney and Nurse Edwards, that in that regard, next year, the selection of the Island Scholar shall not be limited to a select group of students who attempt the A-level examinations, but it shall be determined based on performance at the degree programs offered by the Dominica State College.
The 2014 A-level Island Scholar was announced as Leah Dodds. She earned 3 A's and 1 C. The Marigot Fisheries Complex was decked with stalls of fresh produce and locally manufactured products last Saturday as the community gathered to observe Market Day with a difference. Honorable Minister for Community Development, Gloria Shillingford, addressed the gathering, stating that days such as this signify a special bond through tradition and culture.
I always love the atmosphere of togetherness that seems to be evident on these occasions, for it shows that despite our differences, we can and must exist harmoniously in the production and supply of food to feed our nation.
The minister also noted that the traditional market experience has evolved over the years.
Let me point out that modern-day market includes not only traditional crops, vegetables, and poultry from the farms nestled in the hillsides, but also a wide range of products from our local entrepreneurs engaged in manufacturing and agro-processing, whether small scale from their homes or on a larger scale from business locations. This widening of business operations is commendable, for it provides a means of employment for the proprietors as well as those whom they hire to assist them.
Outstanding farmers and craftsmen and women were awarded for their work. Among them were Peter Frank for agricultural produce, Louisa Alexander for livestock, Eartha Pascal for agro-processing, Anita Watty for sewing, and Martha Ostry for crochet. Speaking on behalf of the Honorable Minister for Environment, Harold Gist, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources, reminded the workers of the food handling businesses of their special responsibility.
You are in the business of food production, and as the theme for this year suggests, our nation, our responsibility, be very conscious of the fact that you have the responsibility for presenting wholesome food to the public in Dominica and elsewhere. Let us always bear in mind that this food that we produce, we are responsible for selling and marketing, is to be consumed by other people.
In more news, as the nation delves into the heart of the independence season, there is a greater call for nationals to embrace the cultural heritage that has contributed to shaping society. Expressing these sentiments, Honorable Minister for Culture, Justina Charles, has called on all nationals to uphold their cultural responsibility.
As we continue to engage in activities to mark this year's independence celebration, let us be mindful of the theme, our nation, our responsibility. Dominica is ours to build, and so we all have a responsibility, just as we can take a page from the leaf of the Capuchin people. We all have a responsibility to volunteer our time, our talent, our treasure to the development of our communities and by extension to the development of Dominica.
The Honorable Minister was addressing Sunday's Heritage Day celebration in Capuchin. In more news, cultural patrons can expect another 4 days of magnificent entertainment at Laplaine Dominica's 12th annual Creole in the Park. This is according to Honorable Minister for Tourism Ian Douglas, who was addressing the official launching ceremony of the event on Monday. Honorable Douglas voiced his high expectations for the festivity, noting that its change in position on the independence calendar was a positive move.
A lot of our patrons for this event and for our independence celebration comes from the French islands of Martinique and Guadeloupe. And I believe that the change works out very well for them because there's a very big feast which is celebrated in Martinique and Guadeloupe, in Dominica, but in a big way in Martinique and Guadeloupe called Luce, and it works out very nice for the placing of Lime Creole in the Park and the World Creole Music Festival and the Feast of Luce for the French people. So I'm very happy. And when we do things in Dominica, I believe that is the kind of collaborative effort we need.
General Manager of Laplaine Dominica, Jeffrey Baptiste, informed that once again, this year's lineup will aim to package all that is uniquely Dominican. Here is what the public can expect at this year's Creole in the Park.
The job of kickstarting the 12th annual Laplaine Creole in the Park is in the capable hands of a young band on the verge of stardom, Signal Band.
Then comes the boys from Lapwet Village. The first serenade band continues the vibe, followed by reggae sensation, Colton T.
From reggae to the cadence experience with some of Dominica's best. The First Lady of Song, Ophelia, Joy Stout, and Denison King Dice Joseph, backed up by Freddie Fitzroy and friends.
Tasked with the job of bringing a super end to day one is the Kings of Cadas, the legendary Chubby, and the Midnight Groovers.
Making quite a name for themselves, the Ecstasy Band will get things started on day 2, followed by the versatile Fanatic Band.
The Calypso Connection, featuring the top Calypsonians in 2014, finalists Bob and Webb, Road March King Mighty Omi, and the 7-time Calypso King of Dominica, King Dice. And to add a little spice, how about former King Scrunter?
Imagine having all the bouillon greats on one stage for one set. Only Lime can bring it to you.
We call it the evolution of bouillon, featuring Rob, Roy, Nai, Benji, and Asa Banton.
Day 3 will see artists such as Mr. Guada, Sickberry, the WCK Band, Skinny Banton out of Grenada, and St. Vincent Skinny Fabulous. The Danger Band will also open Thursday's proceedings and will be followed by acts such as the Swinging Stars Band, Triple K International, and Asa Banton. Members of the original WCK Band will give an anchor performance from last year to close the curtain on this year's Creole in the Park. Ticket prices remain at a $5 contribution, a percentage of which will be donated to the National Cultural Council. In other news, the Laplaine constituency can look forward to a new state-of-the-art police station complements the Dominica Labour Party administration. The $3 million project is set to be completed at the end of October, and the Honourable Parliamentary Representative for the Laplaine constituency, Peter St. Jean, says the people are anxiously waiting its handing over.
Really and truly, the people refer to it as a hotel. It speaks to the commitment of this government to ensure that our law enforcement officers can operate with a certain level of comfort in the execution of their duties.
Other infrastructural developments in that community include the White River Bridge, which is beyond repair. Soon the people of that constituency will receive a new bridge thanks to the Dominica Labour Party.
This Bailey Bridge, constructed out of metal in the jaws of the Atlantic Ocean, was put in place in 1999 under the United Workers' Party. And today this bridge is in a serious state of disrepair and, of course, suffering severely from rust as a result of the saline from the sea. I am very happy because a lot have been said about this bridge. But as I speak with you, we have seen the commencement of work on a bypass, which is just about 65% complete. And I anticipate within the coming weeks, we should see the completion of that project. Once that is completed, in fact, we are spending roughly 111,000 EC dollars to do that bypass. Once that is completed, works will commence, first of all, on the demolition of the existing bridge, and immediately thereafter, we will see the replacing of this bridge with a brand new bridge, which to my mind should last well past my tenure in government and that of my successors to come.
Several roads in the Laplaine constituency are set to receive facelifts, including the Lower Pleasance Road and the Ghetto Road.
The constituency for a very long time suffered from a road network that needed some serious attention. I am pleased to report that right now, practically all of our roads have either been done or are in the process of being given some attention. And as we speak, you would have seen the Plaisance, the Lower Plaisance Road, where we are spending some $61,000 to do just about 1/3 of the road. And the hope is that at a later stage, we will address the other segment. Pretty soon, we expect to see work commence on the other section, the lower section of the Ghetto Road. Some $80,000 is now being allocated for works on that segment of the road. And in Delice, recently some $93,900 was allocated for the Upper Victoria Road. The money is with the council. I've been advised that they're in the process of selecting a contractor, and very soon we should see work commence on that section of the road in Delice.
In other news, Dominica's 2014-2015 cruise ship season is promising to surpass last season's successes. Head of Product Development at the Discover Dominica Authority, Kathleen Coffey John Jules, told GIS last week that there will be a 1.6% increase in the number of cruise ship calls compared to last year.
Last season, 2013-2014, we received 188 calls. This year, we have 191. In terms of the numbers, that as well has grown 3.5 increase. We had 282, 404 last season, and this year we're expecting 292,000. So we are excited about that slight increase. We'll continue to work aggressively in trying to get ships to come, to increase their number of calls and to increase the passenger counts.
The new cruise ship season will open on the 28th of this month. According to John Jules, the country hopes to make an exceptional impression on the first ship of the season, which will set the pace for the rest of the year.
We have several cultural groups performing on that day. We want to welcome the ship with conch shell blowers. That has, the traditional way of welcoming persons. So we have that in place, as well as cultural entertainment throughout the day, as well at two of our favorite, most popular sites, Trafalgar and Emerald Pool. That will enhance the experience as well, because that's one of the areas that we are looking at during this season to ensure that there's welcome entertainment at our ports of entries as well as our popular sites.
John Jules also informed that for the first time, the season will be officially opened by Honorable Minister for Tourism Ian Douglas with a grand ceremony. In preparation for the onset of the new cruise ship season, John Jules says the DDA has engaged service providers in several workshops to ensure enhanced product quality. The head of product development informed that the DDA has also partnered with the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, the Dominica Police Force, the Roseau City Council, Dominica Water and Sewage Company, and the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation to ensure that cruise visitors are welcomed into a favorable environment. John Jules made a special appeal to the general public to play their part in enhancing the tourist experience. And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is next with Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique tient cérémonie pour renommer Bass Avion Melville Hall après ancien premier ministre Rosie Douglas et puis Honorable Pierre Charles. Si le premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, cabinet Dominique prend décision celle-là.
C'est une décision qui bien méritée aussi. Puis ces deux hommes-là, ils ont un travail pays là, ils sacrifient, ils font un sacrifice pour et puis tuer eux, puis quoi eux même, la vie eux même, ils bat payer la vie pour battre pays là. So nous disons le gouvernement là, c'est un bon but pour faire. So ces générations qui vont venir, ils connaissent et que ma détection contre ces deux noms là qui bat la vie, payer la vie. So nous avons invité tout Dominique pour 27 octobre à Basavion là, où nous avons nommé Melville Airport, Douglas Charles Airport.
On a une nouvelle National Employment Program qui marche bien en constituency Laplaine. Parole celle-là sortie du Parlement Honorable Peter Saint-Jean. Plusieurs jeunes sont employés en bas programme cela.
Le gouvernement Dominique a fait un travail en différentes façons. Nous avons créé le National Employment Program, ça c'est un programme national. Là, nous avons employé jeunes gens et aussi femmes qui parlent travail. Et en Laplaine Police et Boutika, nous avons l'homme monde qui trouve employement à bas programme ça là. Nous avons certaines parties femmes qui ont occupé ces grands monde là en société. Ça nous avons créé Yes We Care programme. Et aussi, nous avons créé Education Mentorship Program à l'école de Luce et aussi à l'école Jones Beaupierre en Laplaine. Nous avons des jeunes monde aussi qui ont aidé à occuper ça, nous avons créé library à l'école. Et aussi, en Laplaine, par exemple, nous avons un jeune monde, là nous avons un Internet Café, en Village Council là, et il a occupé ces computers là avec essayer d'aider ses enfants à l'école là pour faire travail à l'école.
Honorable Saint-Jean mentionné comme quoi travail en bas programme là, qu'a aussi targeté Plainfield en Laplaine.
Nous avons certaines parties jeunes hommes qui ont occupé Plainfield là. En bas National Employment Program là, nous avons certaines parties qui travaillent avec différents planteurs, femmes, en les familles, ils travaillent et le gouvernement Dominique a payé. Mais pour moi, réellement, c'est ces jeunes femmes là, et jeunes hommes qui travaillent en société, en ces villages là, qui nettoient ces chemins là, qui plantent fleurs et qui tiennent place là quand on place la moun qui veut rester en Laplaine de lycée Boutika et moun étrangers qui yo pas que les quitter place là yo visiter nous ici. Véritablement nous avons que National Employment Program qui a réellement fait une différence en vie ces moun là yo en Délice, Boutika et en Laplaine.
À notre nouvelle, ministère agriculture Honorable Matthew Walter, c'est chef de délégation Dominique qui a attendu grand meeting Summit Alba, qui a discuté épidémie Ebola, qui a pris place à Cuba. Summit cela créé par le président Venezuela Nicolas Maduro. D'autres membres de délégation Dominique, c'est épidémiologiste Dr. Paul Ricketts et chef officier médical Dr. David Johnson. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt déjà fait parole que Cuba c'est un de ces pays-là qui bien avancé en affaires santé et puis ils ont pile capacité en effort cela. et de Dominique qui mérite ici pour tout pays en région là, parce qu'il pour nous tous pour combattre l'épidémie là. Honorable Scare dit à présent ni pour prendre $1 million au département CAI et puis d'autres départements encore pour préparer à Dominique gourmet mauvais virus là. Et puis finalement, le ministre Public Works a conduit plusieurs d'autres projets infrastructure tout le pays là. Parole celle-là sortie au ministère Public Works, Honorable Ribbon Blackmore.
Tout de suite, nous avons commencé à travailler à Green Valley, à La Pointe. Aussi, à Fortenay, nous avons bâti un box covered avec un pont. Et aussi, à Wharton Waven, travail qu'a fait à un box covered, un pont encore. Il y a plus de travail qu'a fait dans le pays. Ça qu'a dit, Parti Labour Party, bien formidable. C'est parti là qui est primaire pour Dominique. Nous avons fait tout ça nous a fait pour avancer Dominique. Moi, j'ai aussi dit, chemin Airport Road là, chemin ça qui a venu, nous avons tout trois fini chez chemin ça. Pour bâtir ces ponts, mettre ça qui reflecteurs, tout bagage, signage. C'est un chemin qui est bien important pour nous en Dominique. À présent, là, conduire voiture, votre airport là pour eux, mon gars, j'ai dormi.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle à créole pour à présent. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, another interesting fact about coconut water that you might not have known about.
DOWASCO recognizes that clean water is vital to healthy living. Therefore, it spares no effort in providing a clean, safe, and reliable system. Help keep our rivers safe and clean. Do not cut trees along the river banks and do not pollute with garbage, human or animal feces, and chemicals. Think water, think life.
The fat content in coconut water is extremely low, so generous quantities can be consumed without the fear of immediately packing on the pounds. It also suppresses the appetite and makes you feel full because of its rich nature. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kimani. Thank you for watching.